It's a powerful thing to watch others cringe. Especially because here on the Athena P YouTube channel, we're pretty much impervious to that shit. I hope you had a wonderful October, and happy Halloween, butt lovers. This is our third year in a row of ranking Halloween specials. So for those of you who submitted Scary Godmothers 1 and 2, Underfist, Girl vs. Monster, and much, much more, be sure to check out those last two as well, because odds are I already ranked it. Before we start, thank you so much to Tylen for the wonderful makeup and hair inspiration for this episode. Now we're starting off with Mickey's House of Villains. I thought this was an episode of House of Mouse, but it's a direct-to-DVD movie. Of course, it follows the same formula of Mickey hosting a late-night show with a variety of sections, and since this one is for Halloween, naturally it stars the villains. I'm so used to my lore brain reading into every detail, but I fear there's no explanation as to why Simba and Nala are cubs in this. This is pre-Simba meeting Timon and Pumbaa. It also takes place before Beast turns back into a human. Is this like the intermission of all these Disney properties? Before shit gets really real in their movies, they pull them aside for this little clip show. I also learned that every cartoon that Mickey cut to, meaning every part that wasn't audience interaction, Tonight Show Mickey, was actually Disney replaying their old cartoons. Many from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Disney has always been good at recycling, repackaging their old properties to reintroduce them to a new generation. How else would children from 2002 ever watch their grandparents' cartoons? The first of which is Trick or Treat, which includes that old-timey song, Trick or Treat, doom doom, trick or treat, doom doom, trick or treat for Halloween. Never knew where that song came from, but I love it, and it's even better in context. This witch named Hazel helped Huey, Dewey, and Louie get back at their Uncle Donald, who's acting like a real dick this short. Dude took Trick or Treat very seriously, because instead of giving anyone candy, he's just assaulting them? Just put the candy in the bag, bro. And this isn't exclusive to his nephews either. Look at how he pulls this witch's nose. I don't care if it's slapstick. Instead of slapping a stick, how about we kick his dick? I also love this visual of this metal gate turning into a harp for ghosts to play on. They don't just stick to super old stuff for this clip show portion. Like I said, Mickey's House of Villains came out in 2002, and they were playing shorts from Mickey Mouse Works, which came out 3 years prior. Bruh. This feels a bit lazy. When so much time has passed, it doesn't really matter to me. Listen, I was introduced to all these shorts. It was all new to me. But I wonder if people from 2002 were like, oh, okay, I already watched this. Guess I'll watch it again for the 10 minutes of new content hidden within this hour. One of the Mickey Mouse Works shorts was just Mickey Mouse in a Dr. Seuss-like story.
Then Pluto and he marched up the next street where new houses stood, all spiffy and neat.
In one of the shorts, Goofy dies. He was gone too soon. I can still hear his Goofy died even more times in this short when he was a fairy. He introduced this section as the time he dressed up in a yellow skin-tight leotard, but when the Tinker Goof segment ended on the screen, we saw many fairy goofs in the audience, and they were the size of the other guests despite being bug-sized in their short. This isn't a lore, it's about the Halloweeny vibes, shut up! The intro of the Lonely Ghost short from the 30s is almost impossible for me to watch.
Nobody around here is scared. We scared them all away.
What?
They were bold to leave this audio as is. Why not just dub over it at that point? They sounded fine later on, so this echo was actually an artistic choice. One that stinks. A fartistic choice, if you will. I do like seeing Mickey without the whites in his eyes. It's a more accurate depiction of a mouse, and I think it's cute. I'm not gonna talk about the gorilla one, I just watched Chimp Crazy, and that genuinely scares the shit out of me. 10 out of 10 on the scare factor. Why did a gorilla just randomly show up and enter their house trying to beat the shit out of them? And the running away on stilts? Bye. I just know this is gonna appear in my nightmares sometime. This is just brewing in my subconscious. I love the villain number. It's our house now. When the villains take over the show at midnight. I don't know why they had to wait until that specific time. I think they just wanted to be dramatic. I mean, look at this fucking pose Jafar hits.
Slay!
Also, I can't believe Mickey is acting surprised. The villains being evil? Who could have seen this coming? Mickey gets his show show back with Fantasia powers and captures Jafar in this lamp. Is this what Kingdom Hearts is like? I'm putting this in A tier for the villain number alone. I don't think a clip show can ever get to S tier for me. Next up, the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic episode, Scaremaster. Is it really a ranking things video if I don't include My Little Pony? Fluttershy is afraid of Nightmare Night, and all of her animal friends support her night in, except for this little asshole, Angel, who makes her go out to get his specific meal. I really regret putting Twilight in the characters we hate tier list. I hate that she's regarded as more important than the rest of her friends, but that's a writing choice I hate, not her. I have no problems with Twilight at all. I wish Angel was on that tier list. I'm glad we can clear that up. That's been killing me. So this shot of Fluttershy looking out the window in fear of these ponies in costumes is supposed to make her look soft, but I'm on her side. What is this? Ponies dressing up as changelings, griffins, dragons, and timberwolves. These are species that not only all exist in this world, but have also, I'm pretty sure, been oppressed by the ponies. Yeah, this is cultural aponiation. I'm gonna go. The rest of the episode, Fluttershy is an anxious mess, but with the encouragement of Spike, which is a really cute scene, I feel like we don't get to see Fluttershy and Spike interact that often, she decides to hang out with her friends on Nightmare Night for once. But she keeps bringing the mood down severely. They're really good sports about it and very patient with her. Twilight, a great character who I don't hate, even suggests that Fluttershy scares them, so she won't be the scared one, and somehow this suggestion works. Before, when Pinkie Pie presented her with some of her favorite candy, Fluttershy was worried it would make her teeth stuck so she can't scream if she's in danger. When they were apple bobbing, Fluttershy was worried that a monster was going to pop out of the water bucket. So I fully thought when Twilight suggested that Fluttershy scares them, that she would be like, but what if I'm so scary and then I step in front of a mirror and scare myself? I'm starting to get pissed with her. I don't know how I'm supposed to interpret this horse mask scaring them. Would that be like if a human dressed up as a caveman? Is this the pony's pre-evolution? The conclusion was fantastic. Fluttershy successfully scared them with some pretty intense imagery. This corpse of Granny Smith scaring her granddaughter Applejack? Wow. Especially brutal when you realize that most of her family is dead. But in the end, even though Fluttershy was being encouraged and all of her friends had fun being scared, she didn't have fun watching them be scared. Her friends are proud of her that she tried, and they don't push her to continue. They respect that this was a one-time thing for Fluttershy. And I feel like a friend group respecting boundaries like this is so important for kids to watch. S tier for sure. It had that creepy Halloween-y imagery, but it ended with a big hug. Aww. Because guess why? Friendship is magic. It's the whole fucking thesis of the show. It's always gonna come back to that. The amazing digital circus. Tadak! As much as I love this show, and as much as I love making cursed makeup looks of it every year, I will probably never do a lore on it, because everything that can be said has already been said. And for the first time ever since Steven Universe, I wish I didn't watch internet theories about this show. My brother is not online as much, and when he watched this third episode, this Kinger reveal was his favorite. And I know it would have been mine too if I didn't already watch a theory that broke down exactly what was going to happen before it happened. In terms of the third episode / Halloween special, it's kind of funny because it's the most hope we see from the series. With monsters like this and Pomni's god-awful luck, you'd think it would embrace this darkness, but it doesn't. I can't wait to see where this show goes next. I know this next episode is focused on Gangle. It might be this customer service adventure, but I'm staying away from the online theories like I said. I can't believe it's on Netflix now, too. Easy S tier. I'd be surprised if anything The Amazing Digital Circus is below S tier. Oh wait, oh my god. I forgot I was wearing this. The episode titled The Werewolf Hunter from the Rugrats reboot. Immediately, this shit was so much harder to find than I thought it would be. This three-dimensional Rugrats came out in, like I said, 2021, only 3 years ago, and it's already fully removed from streaming. So I had to buy this. Already? Not a great start. I already know that I'm gonna come across as a shaking my fist back in my day bitch, but immediately I missed the title card with the ba-ba boom 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 music. Spike the dog looks fucking horrifying. Look at his teeth. God, I hate it. He looked so much better, weirdly, when he was in his Frankenstein costume because it fit his unnerving appearance. Chucky's dad, Chaz, is not yet married to Kira in this timeline. Is this even the same timeline? I wish they did something different, like all grown up. Maybe follow Dill's friends as the others grow up. Why pick up from before the last series finished off? Count Mucklehoney, this invention investor hosting this haunted house, looks like if Tommy Pickles was an old man. Okay, new idea. Why don't we follow the babies as old people in a retirement home? Just old people having fun. I would have enjoyed that so much more. The kids are scared of these eccentric rich people strangers that Stu is insisting they stay with. And Stu also invented something that sucks out boogers and shoots it into a rocket. I don't remember him being this insufferable. All their choices so far confuse me. Angelica and her parents still make me laugh though. Marie Antoinette and the people she beheaded? Insane, dude. One of them should have dressed up as Cake. Let them eat cake. Angelica's werewolf transformation was pretty cool. It would have scared me as a kid. I know. That's not saying much. I was and am afraid of everything. Another positive thing, this scene...
I'm Mr. Friend. Wanna play?
And you're not.
is so hilarious. I feel like it should be on Stan Twitter. I don't know what it would be used for. I don't know, it's just so weird from the way the shot moves, to the dialogue, the delivery. Everything about it feels a little off to me. I rewinded and rewatched it like 5 times, even though I was really eager to get to the end of this. I mean, as far as Rugrats clips goes, nothing will ever beat this. And that's how I felt watching this. And guess what? It was all in Tommy's head. I mean, usually it is, but from most of the episodes I've seen, it's daydreaming. So there's a foundation of what's real and what he's playing off of. Here he was just asleep and woke up in his house. So who knows how much of that's real? I know we're supposed to let it go, and maybe I would have if I liked the episode, but I didn't. I hate it and I will not. A very proud F tier. I was hoping I'd hate something. You're gonna see that this tier list skews way more towards the top. I just enjoyed most of the things you gave me. I'm glad this tiny turd exists to make it more well-rounded. And as much as I wasn't a fan, it should be easier to stream. I hate that a group of people worked on this, and they're just throwing it out like it's nothing. Put it back on Paramount Plus.
I just watched Chimp Crazy, and that genuinely scares the shit out of me.
Halloween monkey, no one sung about Halloween monkey. Throwback to when I watched that Curious George Christmas special. This is George's first country Halloween, so we get to take in more of autumn in open outdoor spaces. To be honest, Man in the Yellow Hat, you probably never should have kept George in a city apartment. George is sent to get them a pumpkin. After repeatedly jumping in the pile of leaves, Man in the Yellow Hat has to rake up. This little girl, Allie, teaches George how to scare people by saying boo. There's this cute song that plays. So I really thought they'd go through basic Halloween traditions with the way this special was playing out so far. We have jumping in leaves, getting a pumpkin, saying boo. But then we keep hearing the expression hold on to your hats, which is a Halloween tradition in this town. Bill, the boy running the pumpkin patch, tells us the origin of hold on to your hats. My favorite part was that this bunny was named after Bill's great uncle, who this story was about, and because of that, the visual of Herbert has the bunny's face. But it really wasn't about Herbert. It was about this headless scarecrow that was on his property.
So no head?
The name of this scarecrow is No Noggin. Damn, too soon. And anyway, No Noggin would kick off people's hats.
So no hat?
George seemed really fixated on this no-noggin scarecrow story. Man in the Yellow Hat assured George that it's not real to comfort him, but turns out George wasn't scared of the story. He wanted it to be real. Weird little poop-flinging primate, why do you want to see hats kicked off? This special moves very fast, but it keeps returning to old plot points. Stay with me here. George is now focused on the Halloween contest, and he gets inspired on what his costume should be after he sees how much everyone wants No Noggin to be real.
That scarecrow is not No Noggin.
See, now at this point, the Man in the Yellow Hat must know he's disappointing people. They're all sighing and visibly upset. So, of course, George decides to dress up as No Noggin. Because a map fell out of this book, they discover that the location of Herbert's farm was not at the creepy tree like everyone thought it was, but actually in the Man in the Yellow Hat's front yard. So now they're creeped out and trying to get their minds off the fact that they're living on a potentially haunted property. A song plays and the lyrics are so goofy and silly. It might just be Santa Claus, bet he's never seen a kinda sorta haunted house. And that last line, kinda sorta haunted house, it gave me Phineas and Ferb vibes, which is very high praise. Also name-dropping Santa Claus, the foreshadowing of the best holiday to come. I loves it.
What do you think I am,
You're
Mama?
probably... Oh, okay, cool. That clip also cracked me up. Here's it without my voiceover so you can see how quickly she moves on and does not let him guess.
What do you think I am, Mama? Spider!
to the origin story of why No Noggin kicks hats off people's heads, to trying to find him a new pumpkin head, to who is actually taking the hats, to all the fun songs and events at the street fair. It was all great. My favorite part, though, was George dressing up as Man in the Yellow Hat, and how touched Man in the Yellow Hat was. S tier. I know I was harsh on the Christmas special, but this completely blew it out of the water. The pacing was better, the story was better, and the songs were better. Ever since I've heard of this series, it's been on my list of shows to cover, but I heard it was canceled after only 2 years and 2 seasons, despite it being fairly popular from what I've seen. Still haven't seen an episode until this one, so let's begin.
Little over the top, but I guess that's your brand.
Okay, so that was less than a minute in, and I feel seen in the worst way. I also learned so much about this family whose last name is, I can only assume, of Valley View. So Mr. and Mrs. of Valley View enter the living room with a glowing and talking orb. This is Jake, Amy, and Colby's grandmother, who they have to keep trapped because she's too powerful. She can possess any person or object. The dad even blatantly said that he wished his mother-in-law was dead.
Too bad he couldn't put her further underground.
Damn, dude. We see a flashback of when they were practicing villains, and for once, I see how they're able to live a double life completely undetected. Especially the dad. Who is this guy? Has anyone ever told you you look like that villain from Centropolis with that hideous facial hair? Oh my god, it's you! Wait, how did you do that? Amy brings her grandmother's orb to her best friend Hartley's Halloween party, and obviously Granny escapes. Patricia Belcher as Hartley's grandmother was so funny to me because it was truly just another form of Mrs. Dabney from Good Luck Charlie. People who play specific typecast roles always tickle me because it feels like they're in a multiverse. If you're interested in the full Miss Dabney multiverse, let me know. I don't know if there's enough to actually make a video about it, but I think that title is hilarious. It's B tier. It honestly would have been S if they didn't take down Granny so easily. I thought the orb contained her because it was an invention of the dad's, but they captured her in just a regular snow globe by the end. I wish it was an hour special. I feel like with this plot, there's more that could have been done. However, I love Hartley and Amy's friendship and their very literal costumes of Sunshine versus Stormcloud. I'm going to make a video about this show at some point. Now on to the episode Tricked from the Loud House. When this show first came out, I watched the crap out of it. I just never talked about it. I don't know if this makes sense, but I feel like Nickelodeon was a little trigger happy with this show. I remember when I first watched it thinking, oh, this is gonna be a big deal. I feel like Nick hasn't had a hit in a while, but I was too right. They ran with all these spin-offs, and I just feel like Nickelodeon needs more variety other than SpongeBob and Loud House. It's not the fault of the people who made these shows, obviously, but as a network, you'd think they'd want more variety. I don't want to give away the whole plot, but by the end, it followed a revenge storyline that was more than justified. Honestly, at the low point of the episode, I thought I wasn't gonna like it, because obviously Lucy's haunted maze didn't go the way she wanted it to. And she's been waiting for it for so long, and we also don't get a lot of Lucy-centered episodes, I feel like. So I was really getting pissed, but what a satisfying ending. And what a great song from Sapphic legend Luna.
Be who you are for your pride.
I want to gauge interest now. Would you guys watch if I made a Loud House lore video? A tier, I still wish we saw more of the haunted maze, even though the song was fantastic. Ooh, the song was so good though. No, it's still A, also because I understand why Lincoln is the main character, but I don't have to like it. We have 10 amazing girls and they're focusing on the one boy. I'm sorry, I'm always going to root for a children's show following a girl character, especially since networks will still shut down shows just because they have a girl main character. I hate that shit. Goosebumps Haunted Mask. Up until this video, I never watched any Goosebump episodes because, say it with me, I wasn't him, a baby. The opening shot shows the real author of the books, R.L. Stine. And for whatever reason, when he introduced himself, I didn't believe him. Hi, I'm R.L. Stine. The real one? I don't know why, but when I hear a name repeatedly, but I don't link somebody's appearance to it, when I finally see their face, it doesn't feel real. Like, oh, you're him? You look like some guy I can just cross paths with in a grocery store. And I like that about you. Carly Beth is known as the town scaredy cat. Even her friend Sabrina scares her. But then when the boys scare her just a bit more intensely, Sabrina says she'd never do that, even though we we just saw her do that. At first, I thought that Sabrina would be the one wearing the haunted mask. At first, I thought that Sabrina would be the one wearing the mask, because I don't trust this two-faced bitch. They keep flashing to the very obvious evil magical guy. You can tell by the music they play when they show him. And I hate that his evil thing physically is the fact that he has psoriasis. Fuck you, so do I. Carly Beth's mom made a really creepy mannequin head of her. It reminds me of Longlegs. And I can't even focus on that because her 5-year-old brother absolutely roasts her for no reason. She can't even escape this at home. I feel like the next scene that plays is going to be... That's what you sound like, Carly Beth, you crybaby bitch. Somehow the next scene is even more out of pocket than I predicted. These boys hide a worm in her sandwich, and when she takes a bite and starts crying like anyone would, the entire school laughs at her. They're pointing and cackling. Not a single person besides Sabrina is on her side, and even the way Sabrina's looking at her, it's not like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. It's like, I'm so disappointed in you, Carly Beth. What could she have possibly done to avoid that? Is she just supposed to think that at any second somebody could be trying to poison her? Anything she does from this point on, I'm completely on her side about. This is giving Carrie vibes. She steals this mask from Psoriasis Man, and she immediately starts acting different after she scared her brother with it. It's Halloween night, and she's walking with her friend Sabrina, and the first part of this special ends with a cliffhanger of Carly Beth shaking her friend and screechily yelling, "Shut up, shut up, shut up!" It was amusing. I wish I gave my kid self the chance to see how much I enjoy Halloween-y stuff, because it isn't as scary as I thought it would be. Part 2 opens, Carly Beth and Sabrina are going trick-or-treating, and Carly Beth is now just threatening people, including this one little boy, whose mother says she's gonna call the cops. I know this isn't supposed to be funny, but I'm sorry. Imagine calling the cops on a kid on Halloween who's just too in character. Why so serious? I'm about to get more serious. Hello, 911? There's an intruder. Yeah, I don't care that you're fucking 4. Don't ever talk to me like that again. I'm scared. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. Remember how I was like, oh, I'm not scared. I'm 26 years old, blah. The second part had a little kick to it. Like the scene where she just kept saying, those aren't my eyes. Maybe a chill went down my spine. And when the mask melded into her skin, turns out the guy who had these masks was the creator and was using real skin because he hates himself, and his hatred of himself is what rots the masks. We've never actually seen his real face. It was really weird that this character was like talking to Carly Beth and he was like, be grateful for what you got. And I think he was talking about her looks. Weird. Unless I misinterpreted that scene, I was like, get Carly Beth away from this man. And it only gets worse. His other masks start floating towards her. And as she runs away, I can't help but imagine them acting like her classmates. You're a scaredy cat little bitch, Carly Beth. Carly Beth's normal face returned to her after unburying her mom's sculpture. I was 1 second away from saying that the ending had too much of a, and they all lived happily ever after. But then her brother popped out wearing the mask, and I may or may not have gasped. And R.L. Stein's parents actually jump scared me. Wow, we gotta cover more of this guy's stuff. You guys are probably hearing that like, yeah, we know Athena, we've been suggesting it. Okay, give me a break, I'm a baby. I keep saying it, but it's true. S tier. I mean, this is what it's all about. The That's So Raven Halloween episode we're discussing opens with Chelsea accidentally having a bite of a beef hamburger when she's a vegetarian. She's very upset about this, but Raven tells her to get over it because her dad just made a mistake. If your dad's running a restaurant, he shouldn't be switching up any orders. This could have gone a lot worse, and she is allowed to be upset over it. Raven's acting like her problem of not being invited to a party is a way bigger deal. Now, this is when I start to learn a lot more about the That's So Raven lore. I thought I watched a lot of these episodes. Apparently I didn't, because Raven got her psychic abilities from her grandma? News to me. I need to start watching these episodes in order. So when they're making a potion that Raven's grandma left for them, this potion can give them anything they want. So it gives them invitations to the party. But then when they ask for the coolest costumes, Chelsea's cow pin falls into the cauldron. That's when this cow transformation takes place. Now, I was warned about this, so I thought it was going to be creepy, but then once I saw these ears and that snoot, I genuinely want this to be my costume next year. The tongue special effect caught me off guard though. And then by the end, when they were just live action cows with wigs on, I don't know what I was expecting, but yeah, that is the natural conclusion. Or so I thought. Cow Raven has a vision, and it sends Raven back to the beginning of the episode. She just had a whole vision about the series of events that would transpire if Chelsea had me. So It was gonna be S tier, but it was bumped down to A because I hate plots like this. Why should I even care about what I'm watching? We don't even know what they did on actual Halloween. I'm pissed. The Beetlejuice cartoon, specifically the Laugh of the Party. This cartoon feels like if the Fairly Odd Parents followed a kid with anti-fairy godparents. Dude even looks like a combination of anti-Cosmo and anti-Wanda. He even transforms into different characters to get Lydia in and out of trouble. I like the way every character looks like a caricature. Like, look at Lydia's two nerdy friends. And look at the way they look next to each other. It's just so silly and fun. My favorite character, though, by far, is Bury Me Not. He's CGI and so jarring and otherworldly, it only makes sense for him to be featured in a commercial from the Netherworld. This is true interdimensional cable. You know I love when the medium shifts. You know I love mixed media. This is what sold me on the show. I will say, Lydia's reactions to things are confusing. She wants to have the freakiest party and stick it to this popular girl, but when Beetlejuice invites people from the afterlife, she is freaked out. Unless I'm misremembering, I thought Lydia was more playful. Without giving too much away, because it's kind of just a small gag, I was not expecting for the mean girl to be humbled with her monster crush taking off his head. It seems a bit extreme. I love it. Do it again. I'm gonna put it in A tier. This is a perfect time to revisit the very first episode of the Horrid Henry series. Right off the bat. Very ambitious to have the first episode be a Halloween special. It's just a testament to how scary Henry's life really is. Aww. Even though his parents are beyond harsh, as we broke down in this video, that I definitely think you should watch if you haven't already, I feel like this episode is when he deserves punishment the most. Peter crying about his hair hurts my heart. You will never make me hate people-pleasing Pete. You should feel just as bad for him, okay? But Henry's rebellion, with the perfect execution of his plan to sneak out of his house and then return without getting caught, so satisfying. I'm in between A and S tier. I lean more towards the Halloween specials that have a supernatural element to them. Haunting Hour, don't think about it. Yes, another R.L. Stine special because it's long overdue. On Amazon Prime, they don't just say Emily Osment stars in it, they say Emily Osment, Hannah Montana. If that's the case, credit her for everything, damn it. Emily Osment, one of my very first crushes. This one opens up with a bunch of masks. Is it a coincidence that I chose these two, or should I be expecting masks every time? After that title sequence, we open on Max's room, with a Pokemon comforter and pillowcase, and figurines of both Grumpy Bear and SpongeBob. This kid has my dream room. I'm so serious, it doesn't even matter that you're being stalked by someone in your closet. You are blessed. And it turns out that was only Max's older sister, Cassie. Classic first scare fake out. Classic R.L. Stine. You've only seen 2 of his movies, you're such a poser. If I know R.L. Stine as well as I think I do, so not at all. You already know there'll be some revenge. I mean, you're right, but Cassie and her brother are adjusting to this move. They're also really different as people. Cassie is very goth, and she likes scary and creepy things like Edgar Allan Poe, who she name drops and then never talks about again. And her brother Max is a bit of a crybaby. Then we move on to Cassie at school. Cassie has a crush on this boy, and dude, that's just Jake Ryan from Hannah Montana. That's your best friend's boyfriend. You can't do that. Also, you'd think she'd have a crush on a goth boy instead of this boy band looking ass. I support different aesthetics dating each other, but it just doesn't really make sense in this instance. She knows nothing about him. The popular girl Priscilla effectively, I don't want to say cock blocks, they're in like middle school. How about smooch stops? How about that? Priscilla smooch stops Cassie from talking about tutoring Sean. That's the name of the crush. I can't just keep calling him Jake Ryan from Hannah Montana. That's a bit confusing and also a mouthful. After Priscilla tussles Sean's hair, wooing him easily, she decides that's not enough. I'm going to insult Cassie too. Cassie stands up to leave, slams into someone getting food all over her, and just like Goosebumps the Haunted Mask, everyone laughs at her. But I don't know, dude. I think Priscilla's reaction was far more embarrassing.
Oh my god.
Do I feel bad for Cassie? Yeah. But do I also think it's funny that they play emo music as she's remembering the embarrassing day she had, making it look like a music video? Also, yeah. We meet this creepy man who's running an oddity shop, and she buys a book from him. After he shuts the door, he immediately closes the shop. just like in the last R.L. Stine episode we talked about. Classic R.L. Stine. Stop saying that! I'm sorry I'm gonna talk about the little brother, even though he's irrelevant to the plot as of right now, but he just reminds me so much of me. He just got this video game that he begged his parents for, but then once he got it, he's begging them to turn it off and he's terrified of it. This is exactly what I did to my parents. I begged them for the Garbage Pail Kids cards, and they went to multiple stores searching for it for me, and then I finally got it, and I opened it, and I hated it, and I cried, and I was scared of them. The little brother that has comedic relief has extreme mental illness. Take it from me, your comedic relief, who has extreme mental illness. Also, I'm gonna vouch for him even more. I totally understand why he's scared of this game. The objective is to disintegrate pigeons. If I spend enough time thinking about it, I can make myself cry. The perfect opportunity for revenge presents itself to Cassie through her new school's stupid traditions. Priscilla was declared the Pumpkin Queen.
What?
Which means she smashes this piñata. Do you think Cassie fills the piñata with a certain liquid that would ruin her dress? Like punch or something? No, dude. It's worse than punch. It's worse than being punched in the face. She fills the piñata with roaches. To get revenge back, Priscilla reads Cassie's creepy book, and Sean steals it for her. Sean is just as bad as Priscilla. After Max begs and begs Cassie to read the creepy book to him, she does, and she knows she's not supposed to read it out loud. And honestly, the line, "the monster's not real unless you think about it," has me reacting the same way as Max. Kid definitely suffers from intrusive thoughts. Good luck out there, little dude. As Sean and Priscilla are spying on Cassie outside of her house, Priscilla drops the R slur. What's scarier than casual ableism? When the monster comes to life, which is admittedly really scary, she first attacks a Papa John's delivery man. I didn't know when Chapel Roan said "get it hot like Papa John," she meant the pits of hell. See, I'm debating even keeping that joke in because it sounds like something a homophobic pastor would say. Before the monster comes for our main characters, we get another fake-out scare when Priscilla freaks out Cassie with a scarecrow on a string. This girl lacks so much imagination, and Sean is just her bitch, so he helps. So he doesn't have to write his own term paper. Boo! He does immediately regret it though, much like a Darman sketch, and steals the recording of Cassie getting scared from Priscilla, so I guess he did draw the line somewhere. Let's give a half-assed clap. Moving on, the fleshy teeth creature steals Max and Priscilla as well, and wraps all her victims into a cocoon. Sean and Cassie have to team up to save everyone, but even during this dire situation, Sean has the gall to tell Cassie to stop being angry at Priscilla's bullying. He literally says, "She dissed you. So what? Chill out."
A crap attack? Don't have one?
Hey, I have an idea. Can Cassie and Sean not be love interests? The shop owner reappears and we get the context that he only shows up for whoever wants revenge the most. Damn, Cassie's got a lot of anger. They defeated the creature by splitting its head in half and covering it in blood so it would attack itself. It was really cool. The way they were watching with amazement, same. At the end, when the Papa John's was like, "Have a pizza on me," and they were eating the pizza, they're like, "Wow, this is really good." I was like, is this sponsored by Papa John? It is. It does have the classic R.L. Stine ending of a final scare. The parents finding the book that they tried to light on fire and reading it too. But here's my favorite part. During the credits, we have Emily Osment singing, "I don't think about it, I don't think about it." I listened to that song on repeat as a tween. I had no idea it came from here. She was like dropping lyrics about how she's quirky and different, but no lyrics about the monster. "It will kill you if you think about it. Oops, are you thinking about it now? R.I.P. Papa John's is so sweet." S tier. I can't in good conscience rate it any lower than that. I was suggested to watch the new SpongeBob special, Kreepaway Camp. I was surprised that there was no Halloween-y change to the theme song or any change to the theme song. They were promoting the crap out of this 45-minute special. Give us some immediate pizzazz. A mysterious figure invited everyone to the Camp Coral reunion. As they're on the bus there, SpongeBob sees all of them as babies, except for Mr. Krabs. That was a really sweet gag. Mr. Crab only comes to Camp Coral because he's trying to find the money he hid there all those years ago, and it's also revealed that he shut down Camp Coral as a money laundering scheme. He is so in character, and it brings me back so much, it almost cancels out how disgusting Patrick is being. Whoever invited them keeps stealing people, one by one, and SpongeBob refers to this guy as a creeper. Aw, man. One line I want to point out, Pearl says, "If Dad's walking away with a newspaper under his arm, we won't see him for a couple of hours." Is that a shitting joke, or is that a masturbation joke. These are the questions we must ask ourselves when watching SpongeBob SquarePants. A lot of butts, too many close-ups of butts, and that's coming from me. Like, who is the demographic for this supposed to be again? On the positive side, Sandy has so many funny moments. She just allows herself to be silly with SpongeBob and Patrick, and it doesn't seem forced. Like, I believe it. I don't know, it's just really sweet. And the tan seal that everyone wanted to make a comeback on Reddit is seen again here. The beginning of this year, I took a look at SpongeBob reintroducing old bits and characters, and this special is full of that, to the point where I was starting to get annoyed, because I clearly don't know enough about this franchise to follow along anymore. It is very hard to follow. Roxy, Predatory, which is a great name, and Jimmy Blobfish. I use this clip all the time, but it's especially relevant here.
Who are you people?
I feel like this tweet over what used to be my favorite show. T-Bone Stinky? Librarian Bob? Oh, and who can forget first name G, last name Sus? Squidward didn't appear until halfway through the special, which was kind of disappointing. And spoiler alert, it was Elwood who started the reunion and was snatching people. I should have known it was Who is Elwood? It was really entertaining at times, but I can't put it higher than B tier because it felt like a giant joke I wasn't in on. This is an episode where people that stuck with the series can say, see, if you watched SpongeBob this whole time and never took a break, you would know what's going on. I don't think they should be fostering this gatekeepy environment. This would have been a good episode for a clip show, so we can all have the context of what's happening. Butt lovers, I sure hope you enjoyed. I just realized I am filming this at midnight on Halloween. So, this is not coming out on Halloween. Okay, happy November. Tell me who you dressed up as. Be sure to stay tuned on my second channel. I want to bring back watching Blank Drunk. Me and Ben will be in our couple's costume, even though it's November, whatever. Have a great day. Subscribe if you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Koala Brothers lore next week. Bye!